Oh, better not say nothing.
I plan on exposing you. I'll tell everybody. Live, all right.
Hello.
Okay.
I was gonna say, make sure if you guys open the stream in another window to mute it. There we go. All right. Set up.
Good to know.
Oh, what? The stream started right with me shutting my rum bottle, so that's a great way to go. Let me just put this here. Okay, cool. I'm trying to figure out. There we go. So how's everybody doing? How are the holidays been? We're doing great.
Yeah, they're okay. I'm not going back to America this year, which is a bit sad because I haven't been home in like 2 years. But you know, global pandemics, they happen, and
I mean, occasionally.
Yeah, you gotta adjust.
Hold on. This is so confusing. It's really not that different than Zoom, but for some reason I can't figure it out.
What are you trying to do?
What I don't like is that I can't comment.
Like, if you minimize the window, it like minimizes the video thing to a side panel. I really like that. That's nice.
Ooh. This is just a live stream of us discovering technology.
Yeah,
happens every single time, though. Like, we never know what we're doing.
Yeah, 100%. This is our brand. So I think I need to go to the actual live stream to like comment, don't I?
Yes.
Not that that really matters.
If you want to see the chat that they have, you have to go to the YouTube live stream.
So what is the chat?
No, we can see the chat. We can see the chat here. We just can't comment from here. Yeah. If you click on comments, it shows the chat here, but we can't.
There you go. There you go. That's what I was looking for.
Holy.
But what bothers me is we can't type back. That's what annoys me.
Well, it's just
No. Stop it with these lies.
This live stream is just gonna be. It's gonna be about an hour of everybody figuring out how to work this, and then we'll.
Welcome to your webinar, StreamYard. We will be your host today.
Literally, we get a private chat too. So
I saw that. I do like that. That is nice. Not to say that we don't want to talk to you guys, but sometimes we just have to talk shit about
I'm gonna fuck that one up. I'll end up saying some shady shit in the public chat.
Yeah.
Always.
Incredible.
Okay. I'm gonna move that to another window. Oh, it always throws me off. Okay. Got it. We're good.
Hello, Lane. How's it going? How's life? Hello, Mike. How's it crack-a-lackin'?
Oh my god. That's pretty. Okay. YouTube's updated too, so if you like minimize that window, the video gets smaller too.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's so nice. I've been gone for a long time. Hi, people.
Are we on a delay for StreamYard, or is it pretty up to date?
It's got about a 5-second delay.
Alrighty. YouTube is like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, YouTube was bad.
Yeah, StreamYard's pretty nice. I like StreamYard, I will say. Although I forgot to cancel my subscription and got charged for another month. Oh man,
I've never heard of StreamYard before. Have we used this before? Have we?
When you guys were on my stream, I used StreamYard for that.
Did you?
Wait, that summer when I was on my phone at work.
Yeah. That was
I was on my phone. I have no idea how this. I'm just happy to be here.
Same. Hello, Travis. How's it going? Hello.
As per usual, everybody, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. I'm just gonna pretend that we do.
I love this feature. This feature is so fun.
What feature? What did you do? Oh, wow.
How do I do it? Can we all do it, or just one person does it?
I think it's just Michael who has control because I don't have control.
I'm gonna get on StreamYard if I can do shit like that.
Wait,
StreamYard's great. It's expensive, but it's
the big comment man, or is that
yeah. This is my favorite thing about StreamYard. Another nice thing about StreamYard is like when I need to like use the loo, I can just put like a background on, or I can put a video on, and my video could be me just talking and being like, I'm currently using the bathroom, and it's like a static, static video.
Okay, well, so I have a question for you then. Okay, so if somebody were gonna do like a holiday show, not me, somebody else, my friend Ian.
Theoretical.
No, Ian.
Hypothetically,
if Ian were gonna do a holiday show and he wanted like some pre-recorded bits, could he do that through StreamYard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
You have a limit of 5 minutes. That's the only problem, though. So you can have tons of different 5-minute videos, but you can't have anything longer than 5 minutes, which is a shame.
I mean, I think that's a perfect segue, though. If you do like 2 back to back, and that's like 2 bits, and then you set up the live section, that's like, I think it's so crazy how apps or like sites like StreamYard or like Zoom are like completely changing platforms, the way we do television, the way we do live streams, like a whole old-timey like live broadcasting thing. You know what I mean? Like when they'd have like dancers come out to segue between like things, and then they'd like come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I keep saying like, you know what I mean, and come out and you know what I mean. You know what I mean. The thing.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Oh man. If you see me look up to the side, I play a space game on my phone with my boyfriend, and there's an event today, so I just have my spaceship out doing things, and so I have to look every now and then.
Is this Eve? Eve Online? Yeah. Man, the amount of times I would like when I was a kid, I would like set myself mining, and then I would like go to church and like leave everything running, and then I'd come back and just hope I hadn't been like killed by pirates. Like
dangerous
that
shit.
Game.
Dangerous.
Absolutely.
It's a very fun game.
It is fun. It's very addictive.
Very different than any other game I've ever played, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, I love the economic factors of it. Like you know, I love the like in-game economy. Like it's such an
absolutely. I feel like Zach has now tuned out.
I'm not a gamer. I don't know anything y'all are fucking talking about.
That's okay.
No, but so when was the last time we all did something like this besides Bradley's stream in the summer when it was just a very short thing?
That was it. I mean,
that was it.
Are we considering like drunk ones? Because there's been plenty of those, but
I guess it was for a while. That was something I really wanted to talk about. I was sitting here, I was like, I had a list of things to like bring up for this, and I just like poof. But one of the biggest ones was I feel like we all started out like hot and heavy at the beginning of the pandemic. Like this is our time. Like everyone's on their computers, everyone's sitting at home. Now's the time to be a creator. Now's the time to do all this shit. And then like for me personally, like I know like after like March, April, I like fell off the face of the earth, and I was like, I'm tired, I'm depressed, I don't want to do this. Go get away from me, internet. And I just like logged off. And I've done a few things since then. Like I've maybe had like 5 or 6 videos go up since then. But like I stopped coming to streams. I stopped like doing our little drunk friend nights, and we get online and be whack weird together.
Well, I think also around that time they kind of just stopped anyway. So I don't think you missed out on any of them.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like I don't know. I didn't think it was just a me thing. I felt like it was like everybody just.
No, it was
all kind of like we've been drunk online a lot. I'm kind of tired. I'm gonna just step back. And
well,
then,
that's
like,
what it was.
Everybody just zip.
It was fatigue, I think, and I think somebody. I saw an article somewhere where somebody was talking about like Zoom call fatigue, where you have to use so much of your I don't know what the word would be, a mental awareness to do like Zoom calls that it just makes you exhausted, and the more you do them, you just get more and more fatigued. So. Definitely.
Yeah, I find in general live streams take a lot more energy for me than like doing even like a normal YouTube video, which is kind of weird because it's theoretically much easier. Like all I have to do is pop on and exist. But I think because like it is this live dynamic, I feel like I have to like hype myself up, you know, like I feel like it's a lot more draining, and I love it so much. Like, and I'm gonna keep doing it, you know. But it's a different investment.
Well, that's true. It's true, and like even with videos, like you're bringing yourself to the table, but there are the moments where you're aware you're on camera. You're always going to be aware that you're on camera. So it's like a little bit of a heightened version of yourself. Like if you're more hyper, you're going to be hyper throughout a video rather than like you're not hyper 24 hours a day. And on a live, it's like that magnified because you don't want to just sit and be boring with people. But I mean, I don't know.
There's something happening with these mics here. I don't know who it is.
Who's fucking up?
It was so good. Why did it all go so wrong?
My video's muted. I don't know about you guys.
Mine's muted. I made sure.
Okay, I think it's better. Cool. No, and that's, I don't know, that's something that I feel like we've touched base on before about like how being on camera is very different than knowing us in real life, just because like on camera, like we don't want to, not to say that we put on personas when we're on screen, but you are on when you're on camera.
Yeah.
And when you're live, it's a lot more tedious and a lot more taxing because you're on. And then if you do live enough, you become on 24 hours a day because you don't want to lose that momentum. And then you try to like be on when you're making your non-live content, then your live content, and then you try to like do your actual life and you become on 24/7. And eventually your battery just drains and runs out and you don't have any recharge time. Whereas before, when we didn't have all this crazy amount of time and people weren't just watching us 24/7 because they're at home, you know, you every other day you did this, or 2 or 3 days you did this. And now it's like, this is our full-time gig.
Well, I also think there's a definite like, so there's a definite distinction between like lives and normal videos, but there's also a definite distinction between like a video where you're sitting down or you're like standing up and you're talking to the camera just straight, and then like a vlog. Because like with my vlogs, I don't feel like I have to be a heightened version of myself just because I'm picking and choosing from different just clips that I've collected, and it's great. But then like when like we did a couples therapy just a couple weeks ago, and I had to have a few drinks just because I knew that like, I don't know, I didn't want to ever hit a point in the video because we record for like, it's like 30-40 minutes you record and then you edit it down. And I didn't ever want to hit a point where I was just like, you know, just dragging along. You want to keep
that initial edit time. I feel like, especially with I know when my brother started doing like Twitch and started doing like video editing and stuff, like he didn't realize that initial edit, the very first, like cutting out most of the garbage, you have to watch all of it. Just to know exactly where I said what I want. I said what I did.
Well, there's a speed button. You gotta use the speed button. Your speed button is your lifesaver. It'll get you through
have to go through all of it. And if you said something like 4 different ways, 4 different times, you have to watch them multiple times and be like, I like this one, not that one. I like this one, not that one. And that initial, I feel like, first screening of your film is, it's so tedious and so exhausting. It usually takes me an hour just to go through the stuff like the first time just to get it like, do I like this? And then there's the secondary edit. I usually come back to like a couple hours later.
That's the best like feeling though, is when you're done with that first stage, and then I'm like, all right, the rest of the editing's kind of fun from here on out, like once you get that done. But I've got to the point where now if I do like 4 takes of the same thing, I just jump straight to the last one. So I'll skim through it. I won't watch them all because I'm like, fuck this, I'm just gonna like, the last one will be good.
The last one had to be good, otherwise it would have stopped.
Well, exactly. I would have done a 5th. You know, like if there's 4 takes, there's 4 takes for a reason. The last one must have been good in my head. So like,
well, that's why I hate doing like fucking sit down videos, because it does you do more takes. Like with vlog stuff, you can't redo anything, you know, it's all there. But like I do, like sometimes I'll trip over my words and be like, blah. And like, especially when I do sponsors, I cannot for the life of me say what I'm supposed to say, and I have to do them like 10, 11, 12 times, and then editing, you know, it's just that much longer. But
I'm doing my first ever unedited video next week. I'm just releasing a completely 100% unedited video.
They're fun.
And like, I feel like, I know some people are going to be like, oh, this is really low effort. But for me, that's high effort. Like that's way harder for me to release something unedited.
I got a lot of shit when I first started because I used to only release unedited videos. Well, first of all, I didn't know how to use editing software, and so that's why I did it. But
there you go.
I just I wanted to be as genuine and authentic as possible. And I feel like I used to be so eloquent when I spoke. I could speak for 20 minutes straight and just not lose a breath, not stumble over words, and not lose my train of thought, and just go. And so I would release those videos and people would give me shit for it. They'd be like, this is lazy, you need to edit, this is so slow, I don't watch this. I'm like, watch it at time and a half, it's really funny that way. But
yeah,
I'm very proud of you doing that because it is so hard to get through even 5 minutes of content, without editing, that's difficult. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just doing that kind of stuff, putting that out there. And even if you do fumble over stuff, it's just rough. People are so used to this clean cut, jump edits where we cut out all of our bullshit, all of our mistakes, over every word and every single breath. People hate when you breathe.
Oh yeah, they're like, don't breathe.
They hate if you take a breath.
Yeah.
It kills. So your video is so slow. I'm like, I have to intake air to continue the plot.
I do get the inverse. I get people telling me I'm too fast and I don't breathe enough. But I get both. Especially from I find some of my viewers, they want to chill out and they're like, this is too much for me to pay attention to. But I think most people do kind of feel like you need to be fast, so that's why I try to be fast. Michael, I feel like you're want to say something.
Yeah. Mine sit down is a little different. I type out everything and check out the language. It's very tedious and long at times. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing.
I know. So you're on a whole different process than the average way that most people on YouTube do things, because you do have to type everything out. But I mean, you do it, so you get it done.
Yeah, that's much more impressive.
Yeah.
I find when I do write stuff down, at least as an outline, I often produce better quality work. I'm excited for this unedited video next week, and I feel good about that. But it's also 18 minutes long of just me babbling, So I'm trying to at least outline my videos more often. But sometimes you just don't have time, and that's also okay.
Yeah. But outlining is especially I just do quick bullet points with 2, 3, 4 words maybe, just to keep myself on track, because even when I just ramble and let myself go, it'll do a whole loop to loop and everything, and I just can't get through that, because you also only have I don't know about anybody else's cameras, but my camera stops recording after 30 minutes.
Same.
Mine only has the capacity, it'll do 18-minute videos, but then it splits it into a second file. So if you're mid-thought, it gets really choppy right there in that mid-thought.
I know that could be an SD card.
Mine does that too, but it's not choppy for me. Mine's really good at it being right after the
really?
Yeah.
I have an old camera.
I also have the 30-minute limit though. Oof. And it's so frustrating because sometimes I'll be like, all right, thank you so much for, and then that's when it hits the 30 minutes and it's all right, now I have to go back, turn it back on, film just an extra 2 minutes being thanks so much for watching. And then the worst thing is when that'll happen and then the battery will die, and after I've started the second recording, and I'm just you know what? And then when you have to change the battery, then you have to reset the frame and you have to reset the focus. And I'm all right, I'm quitting YouTube. This is it. This is the end for me. Truly the worst. Yeah.
Fucking hate focus. Focus is the bane of my existence.
Don't get me
my autofocus broke, so I have to manually focus everything.
I used to do manual focus. I hated my autofocus on my last camera. So I would get a broom and I would stand my broom up and I'd focus on my broom, turn my focus up and stand exactly there. But if I moved, I was out of it. And so I trust autofocus a lot more with the camera I have now. But it's still, it's a bitch, man. Because if it fixates on anything, it'll stay there.
Yeah.
My problem is refocusing. So if you leave the autofocus on, even if you stay exactly still, it'll be oh, this little pixel is not where I need it. and it'll do that zoom out, zoom in thing where like you're out of focus and then back in focus, and that
infuriating,
crazy. So I'll like autofocus myself and then I'll cut it off and I'll put it on manual focus so it's exactly where it needs to be.
Right.
But my camera will still refocus just a little bit. It'll still kind of like blur. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I haven't moved. Like, I'm right here. Like,
I'm exactly where I am. The lighting is perfect. Leave me alone. I swear.
Yeah. My lens used to get in like a loop where it'd be like woo, and then like I'd film a whole video and I'd be like, this is a great video, I'm so proud of how this turned out, and I go in the footage and it's like da, 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 and then the sound of the lens picks up on the mic and I'm like, I can't use any of this. It's so bad.
No, that's why I was very glad when Zach recommended the mic that I have for my camera now, because it completely eliminates that noise. And it's
great.
So nice.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
I think me and Taylor did like one. I don't even think we were live. I think we just did like a call one night.
We did
like all night, and we just talked about camera equipment and stuff. And
we did several like that back when it was like right after I moved here. It was like July, August. Like we were like we would FaceTime like 2 or 3 times like every week, and we were just like talking about camera equipment and my like endeavors, and that never fleshed out, and then I completely abandoned because it got
all that plan too.
I swear to God. That's what I started in the music video industry, but then it got so cold outside. I was like, fuck that. Not now. In spring, I'll go back. When these bitches want to go outside when it's bright and sunny, 60 degrees, not me with a camera. No, ma'am.
Mike, so you're talking about that video editing real quick. 16 hours sounds about right for that. Like, it sounds, I'm sure there's a quicker way to do it, but I know if I was doing it, it would probably be similar to that. Just because 20 kids, 20 videos, 20 videos.
That's a lot. I don't know.
Editing takes a lot of time.
It sounds like a lot of layering is what it sounds like.
Yeah. Especially matching audios together. I think that's the like Premiere Pro has an audio syncing feature where you can sync.
I just found out about that and I'm so upset.
I learned about it. I bought into one of those video programs where like it's like full-time filmmakers is what it's all over YouTube as an advertisement. I got a lot of really useful tips out of it. I don't know so much about the price I paid for it, but c'est la vie. It's a tax write-off at the end of the day. But it also gives me like a student discount for life to the Adobe programs, so it is actually useful.
Oh, did you say for life?
It's pretty much because it's a continual program. They continue adding material to it forever, and they've been doing it for a couple of years. So like I have it at least for the next couple of years. I'm a student in their school because they have like a deal through the way.
Oh my God.
So unfortunately, I bought into it right after I re-upped my subscription, so I paid full price, and now I have to wait a full year to get the student discount, and I'm pissed. But
I'm playing Adobe like every year they're like, we're increasing your fee to like £50 a month, and I'm just like, okay, I'll cancel, and they're like, just kidding, we won't increase it, please stay, and I'm like, all right, great. This happens
guys. If you try to leave Adobe, they will give you the best rates and the best deals you have ever seen.
I'm not paying 50 quid a month.
You try to leave fucking Hulu, and they're like, you want a month free? Would you like a month free?
I'm such a Karen with that. I'm like always threatening to leave when I'm totally not going.
Here's the thing, though, is I tell you, and I've been using it for a little bit. DaVinci they are catching up, and they are going to become the pinnacle of like video editing software, and it's completely free. I don't pay a cent editing my videos.
My partner just got DaVinci, and I'm like looking at it, and it looks like the same as Premiere, and it's free. And I'm like, I spend, I don't know, an insane amount on Adobe, even with my repeated discount, you know. And it's like, I am wondering if I'm making the wrong decision. Yeah, I might change it at some point. I think the thing that's nice for me is that I do get After Effects and I do get Photoshop and everything sort of in a bundle.
That's the thing, though. Nice. It's like the benefits. I guess could be arguably worth it, right?
It depends on what you want to do. Yeah.
That's what I'm appreciative. Every time I buy into Adobe, I use it for a couple months. I don't, then I use it, then I don't. And I bought into it right after I moved here to Nashville. And I mean, I was on it every day. I was like doing tutorials online. Like these were like 6-hour tutorials teaching you everything you need to know about After Effects, about Photoshop, about Premiere Pro. And so like I learned so much so fast. And I was using Photoshop to make logos for companies. I was doing advertisements for people doing stuff. And I was doing my own stuff, making videos. And so I'm glad that I did it. But like now I mean, the last 3 months I've been AFK, just completely away from all internet stuff, just focused on my own personal life and happy as a clam. But it sucks because like I've had the subscription, I have all this stuff and I'm just not using it. And I just got all this new film equipment, all this new lighting.
I told you to buy it, dude. I told you I would have bought it from you.
Oh my God. I mean, but the thing is, I fully believe that like when the new year hits, I feel like we all say this every year, like when the new year, like we're going to do so much better next year. We're going to do
yeah.
And I
don't say that for that reason. I'm like, I'm not going to utter those words. I'm not, you know.
I hit the holidays and I hit that like I can breathe moments and I'm like, yes, I'm going to hit it hard. And then I hit it hard for like 3 months and I'm like, fuck this. I want to quit.
Michael, how often are you able to, just so you have time to like type something out, how often are you able to keep to your schedules that you create for your videos?
That's true.
Mike says, I'm so ready to pay someone to do it for me. I did that this year for the first time. I paid an editor because y'all doing a video every week is so much.
I can't do that. I am way too OCD for it. Way too OCD.
You know, I have found, I actually have OCD. I found that out this year, but which has been kind of a surreal discovery. But one thing that I find is actually hiring an editor is helpful for me because of my OCD, because I will edit things way down and I'll remove moments and like way overthink certain things. And my editor, she'll be like, no, this is funny. Like, I'm gonna put this in, or I'm gonna do a creative edit on this. And I'm like, no, like that makes me look a certain way. And she's like, no, this is hilarious. And like, it is funny and it's good. And it helps me kind of get over myself.
Well, so then it's a little different for you because you are also, in order to stay over there, you're creating a whole business out of this, right?
Yeah,
you're having to do that, correct?
I am creating a business which actually launches next week. Shameless plug. But that actually right now is completely separate from my YouTube channel right now. Like, it's connected in the sense that my business is doing video production, but like apart from sharing equipment and like I'm like this editor may also work for the business, but like there's very little direct crossover right now. My dream eventually is to have myself basically be a client of my business. If my channel is successful enough, but right now it's very convoluted, like making those things the same. It's really kind of hard to differentiate them. And one of the reasons it didn't work at the start was because my business was just called Bradley Brocos. And it was like, okay, there's the YouTube channel, there's, the business. And it's like, in the end, I was like, okay, these things seem to be like just distinct for my own sanity. Right. So, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I want you to like, because we talked about this a little bit before, but I want you to walk me through, how did you stay? Because you were about to get deported last I knew.
I tried to keep up with all the tweets. I think I'm just like, I have a whole story in my head that's probably not accurate. Throwing you onto a train and at the last minute.
No, that's exactly what happened. How did you know? That's it.
Because it was my friends applied, right? Like you applied for a business to stay as a creative content creator and they said no.
Yeah.
What made them change their mind?
It's honestly, it's been such a journey, and like I don't want to take up the whole stream talking about it, but yeah, anyone wants the full version, there's an unedited video all about it next week. All the shameless plug. Basically, I had my flights booked. I was like set to be put on the plane, and then the coronavirus pandemic happened. But before that, I applied for like an artist, like basically an artist residency visa. And they're very vague with these visas. They're like, you have to work in the arts, and I'm like, okay, I do work in the arts. Like, and they're like, you have to have publicity. And I'm like, well, I do have publicity. And they're like, you have to have, X, Y, and Z, and these people vouch for you. And I'm like, okay, I do have people that will vouch for me. And they were like, sorry, we don't consider YouTube valid. We don't consider LGBT publications valid as like media sources. And it was like, the whole thing was just honestly really fucked in my opinion. But like, and they don't refund the application, £500 application for this, and they don't give you any of the money back. And it was just gone, and I was super devastated. But and then I was like, okay, now I'm getting deported. And I was like, the only way I'll possibly be able to stay is if some like insane extenuating circumstances happen. And then like literally days later, a pandemic hits that's like shutting down international travel, and they let me stay. And then they gave me like a rolling month where like each month they'd be like, all right, you get another month to stay, you get another month to stay. And in that amount of time, like it was funny because in spring I started applying for the business visa, but like almost as like a joke. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get this, but I'll fill out the paperwork, whatever. It takes 6 months to get, but I don't have 6 months, so I'm not gonna have enough time to do it, you know. And I was like super half-assing it. Like I did the bare minimum with this application. And then like the person like kind of managing everything was like, you're not putting in any effort, but like you actually have a chance at this. And I was like, oh, and then like started putting in tons of effort into it and got it, which is insane. So
that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. So now I have 2 years. The stressful thing is that it is only 2 years. This visa is non-renewable. So I'm going to be panicking again a year from now. But right now I'm just very grateful for the extra time. And
well, you know,
by that
pandemic in 2 years.
The business will right? And then you can apply for an actual business visa as opposed to you can get hopefully at that point the business is growing up.
The business has to be doing pretty well to get like the proper business visa. Like I have to have full-time employees, and I'm like 2 years is not a lot of time to have like an economically successful business.
I'm moving to London. I'll be a full-time employee.
Great. All right, I'm gonna hold you to that.
The dreams of us living together will never end.
Yes, please. I'm gonna have a room free in April, so
maybe. Is your same roommate when I was there?
No. They moved out, and then I got a new roommate who also moved out. I'm not talking about roommates on this live stream. But anyway, there was some things and some times, and now I have a really amazing roommate.
Just time.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying live. Yeah.
Those bitches.
Yes, basically, yes. What you said. I'm not gonna say it, but yes, that now I have the most incredible roommate imaginable, who you all know, which is Vinny, and he's just the best roommate imaginable.
Vinny moved to London?
Yeah, he lives with me now. Yeah.
Offline for a while.
Yeah. I'm like
London.
2020's been so much for me has happened this year that I'm like, man, like there's just it's a lot for anybody to keep up on. It's a lot for me to keep up on. I'm still trying to like catch up on my own life. But yeah, Vinny has to leave in April because of like the way that visas work here. But
absolutely.
He's amazing.
He has like a guest visa, right? Like a visitor's visa.
Yeah.
So he's just here for like how long can you stay?
6 months.
6 months?
Yeah, which is a long time.
Are you still in the same flat?
Yeah.
That weird little flat. I'm sorry, like apartments in London are so weird compared to American apartments. Like so weird.
Different.
Like the bathroom, that one bathroom in the whole flat.
There's two. There's two bathrooms. You were here for like literally 5 hours.
Like 6 hours.
Yeah.
6 hours.
Yeah.
I remember very little other than like this flat is in like this tiny little crevice of an alleyway with this itty bitty door. And the bathroom is the size of my pinky finger, and the shower it was tiny. That's all I remember. And
there is 2 bathrooms. The second bathroom is like 5 times bigger. There's a bathtub, and it's like there's lots of space in the second one. But there's actually 3 floors. So
right?
Yeah. Well, it's shared, but like it's kind of like more his. Yeah.
Heard any horror. My adventures when I visited Bradley, y'all, was probably the most excruciating travels of my entire life. I spent 3 days trying to get to Germany because of one layover that caused me to miss a flight, that redirected me to Chicago. I spent the night in the Chicago airport because the concierge was closed and they were supposed to get me a hotel room. Got to London, had to spend the night in London. They kicked me out of the airport because they don't let you sleep in the lobby there. That's wrong. No, London doesn't let you sleep in the lobby of the airport.
Yeah.
So I was like, Bradley, save me.
It was so random.
He's probably like, I have some plans tonight. But
I was sitting
like messaging him in the airport. I was like, Bradley, I don't know what I'm gonna do. He was like, I'm coming. Don't worry, I'll be there.
It was just like so unexpected. If there was like, if you would have told me right then what would have been like the most surprising thing that could have possibly happened to me, it would have been Taylor Robin like stepping off the airport being like, I'm here, can I stay with you? And I was like in my office like doing work like 3 hours away. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like I'll hop on the tube. I'll go pick you up. It was great. It was fun.
Although I was gonna literally have to stand on the street all night with my luggage so no one killed me or stole my stuff.
I would have let you stay anyway, though. Like, no, it wasn't a pity case. You know?
If I didn't know you, the wonderful world that we live in where we met, I would have been royally fucked.
Yeah, is true.
So crazy. Anyhow, so those were the travels and how I got to see Bradley.
It sounds like a meet cute.
Say what?
It sounds like a meet cute. Do you know what a meet cute is?
No, never heard of that.
It's like how two people kind of meet when they get together in a romantic sense, and it's their cute little story, their cute little backstory.
Like you hopping on a Greyhound to go to Atlanta?
I did. That was nice though. It was fun. I thought somebody was gonna steal my bag, but man, I was pretty sure somebody had their hands on it. I was like,
Always put your leg through the straps. Always put your leg through the straps.
Yeah, well, that's my least favorite thing.
It was under the bus, and I was at the back of the bus. So when people were getting off, they weren't checking anybody's tickets.
No.
So they were just putting the bags on the side of the road, and somebody had their hands on my bag, and I came up right behind him, grabbed my bag, and looked him in the eye and said, "Thank you." And I walked off with it.
Horrifying. Knowing, like, if that was me, though, I would just be being an imbecile. I'd be like, "Oh, this is my bag," you know, like, and walked off with someone else's bag because that's just like something I would do.
Always normally pouring rum. Michael, I was wondering, what's going on your channel? What are you doing right now? I know I've been removed from the internet. I haven't been watching. I haven't been keeping up with anybody. What's been going on with you? What you got planned? What you got coming out? Let me and the people know. We want to know.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna get more Coke because I poured a whole bunch of rum in this drink.
King for a Day wants to know if any of the rest of us are smoking weed currently.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do as sober as possible. But
I am not personally smoking weed at this moment in time, King for a Day.
Oh, interesting.
It's not legal here in the UK.
That's right.
I kind of wish I was smoking weed right now, but I'm not. I am not. So.
I mean, it's not legal here either. But
wait, what state are you in?
Sure as hell is.
Yeah, it's legal back home in California.
So we'll just pretend we're in Colorado.
That's what I always do. You can get medical here now, which is nice.
Oh, I didn't know that. And you guys are the first to have the vaccine too.
We are, yes. So I'm very ready for things to go back to normal soon.
How do you sign up for the vaccine? Can you sign up for the vaccine? Let me know.
Not yet. No, it's probably won't happen until March at the earliest because they're prioritizing all these different groups first, and it goes by age. Like I'm so far down the list,
but
which is
appreciate
fine.
that they're going for the immunocompromised people first.
Yeah,
as opposed to just being like, come get it. Like in America right now, the way it still works. Back when I was trying to get tested for COVID when I first moved here. Basically you like went in, you can make an appointment to go in, but if an X amount of people had come in before you that day, even if you had an appointment, you couldn't get tested for COVID. It didn't matter who you were, what your like situation was. If like 20 people came in before you couldn't get tested, even though you made an appointment and like did all the proper stuff beforehand. It was insane.
That's ridiculous.
So I appreciate that they're like targeting the people.
I think it's good. I think it's important. Yeah. I'm planning to head back home in April, and I'm just hoping things are better in April. Because like right now, I can like it's hard for me to go home because like trains are barely running. You can't get the shuttle right now from LA, and it's a struggle.
I got you.
King for a Day says this bowl is dedicated to you. Thank you, King for a Day. Appreciate it.
He's here for you and me and all of us. He's ready to share. No, I feel I haven't, like I said, I haven't been on it. Is everybody still releasing like normal content scheduling? Is that still like how many uploads are you guys doing? How often do you upload? Tell me all. I haven't like I've talked to Zach recently, and I know he still does his normal
well described Zach content right there.
That's my content.
Yeah, that's it.
Content we expect it, we know it. It's not like me where it's like upload, gone for 7 months, upload, gone for another month.
You keep us on our toes.
Hangout, and 42, and my channel's still growing. That's what blows my mind is people still
there you go.
I'm like, I'm not here, but please continue. I'll be here in a minute.
Yeah.
But
hey,
how's it going, Bradley? Are you still? How often do you upload? And Michael,
let's let Michael go. I think yeah.
Does he have?
One moment. Okay. I am still doing weekly videos because I hate myself.
That's a lot. I realized how much that is because I know
so much.
When we started the whole tube, it was expected for YouTubers to do a weekly upload, if not two, at a specific time on a specific day regularly. And if you didn't, people wouldn't subscribe to you because you were inconsistent, you weren't normal, you didn't respect your subscribers. And
the algorithm hurts you.
Yeah. And I feel like now we've grown out of that and things have changed to where like people expect you to upload, like I feel like followers' perspective has changed. Like our community perspectives have changed to where they're like, upload when you want to. We only want you to upload when you feel comfortable. We don't want you to crank out videos, as opposed to like 3 years ago when we were doing this, we were like, if you don't crank out a video, I'm unsubscribing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know all about that. I think it's what your subscribers are used to. So if you got into the habit of continuously uploading videos and being on a regular schedule like that, your subscribers would expect it. And when you stop doing that, they're going to have, they're going to cock their heads a little bit. I think that's just as relevant back then as it is now. I think it's just people get used to your sort of schedule anyway.
Yeah, this is the first year where I've really seriously thought about moving away from the weekly schedule because like starting this business has been so much work and like it's just hard and I don't want to just put something out just to meet a deadline that my heart isn't in it or it's not good, This is the first year I've taken off Christmas week. So I'm not doing Christmas week. I'm taking off. I'll come back. Next week is my last video, and then I'll come back on the 2nd of Jan. But I've never done that before. Like I've pretty much never missed a week in like 5 years of being on YouTube. And I'm not saying that to brag because it's like I don't know why I've done that because it's been like so rough to like force myself to do that. And the thing is, like, I'm at a stage where I really want to start making videos that are like a bit more involved, like, videos that have multiple parts and multiple scenes. And like, I can't do that every week. Like, it's just not possible. And my partner's told me, like, he's like, okay, we'll do 3 videos a month that are like vlogs that are relatively medium and effort, and then like 1 video a month where you put like tons of time and energy into it. And I like that. But even that, sometimes I don't always have time for,
Even that's a lot.
It is.
4 videos a month is a lot. No matter what kind of content it is, 4 videos in a 30-day span. So and I know that's really only maybe like 7 video, like 7 every 7 days, so really every week. Sorry, I was doing math. I'm a little drunk.
You should have told me you were drinking. I have my like tea here. I would have brought wine. I didn't know this was a party.
If I'm going to be on the internet, you think I don't have a straw? But no, but just expecting someone to draw. I mean, I think the glory days of YouTube are over, right? The days when this was everyone's full-time job, the days of Connor Franta, the days of Tyler Oakley, the days of those people, like they made it through that perfect window when you could devote every bit of effort. You could do 2 videos a week and you can make tons off of sponsorships and completely support your lifestyle doing this and move out to California, build with brands and move on to whatever they've moved on to. Because, you know, they're not primarily YouTube people anymore. They grew as it should be. And those days are over. And people, I feel like people still kind of expect us to live like this is our life and this is the channel is everything we have. And it's like, I can't pay rent off my channel. Like, you know, like that's not, we can't do that. It's just not plausible. YouTube has made so many cutbacks with the way it does ad revenue, with the way that it pays us. And sponsorships have gotten greedy. So greedy. I can't even begin. I haven't done a sponsorship in so long just because every single time someone enters into my emails, they're like, we'll give you the product and we expect you to do X, Y, Z. And I'm like, you can give me the product and you can give me X dollars because I'm not free advertising. Like I'm not some Instagram influencer for you. I have a loyal community and I'm not feeding you there. Like, I'm not gonna.
It's when the worst ones is when like the absolute insult ones are when they're like, we'll give you a 20% discount on our products and like you can sell them to your audience. I'm like, what? You expect me to buy the product and promote it?
Your audience.
Like, oh my God. I never respond to those. I'm like, that's just a slap in the face. Like
that's what I have so many. I've been called disrespectful multiple times in my email inbox by multiple companies because like I don't check my inbox that often, especially the last 3 months. Like when I've been offline, I mean I have been off, not Snapchat, not Instagram, barely on Twitter. Like I have been non-existent and I've been so happy. So good. I just want to like note that for everyone. Like I've been focused on myself and my relationship, and not sharing this with anybody has been so great for me, so great for my relationship. I've been fantastic. This has been a wonderful 3 months for me.
Good.
But like I just don't respond to these emails, and they'll email and be like, re-upping, just letting you know, like in case this got sent to your junk mail, like we really want to work with you. And I'm like, you really sound like a bunch of assholes who don't understand how this market works. I'm not going to respond to you. And they're like, this is really disrespectful. You really need to respond whether you're going to accept or deny. And I'm like, I think no response is a response.
This is the first year too where like I've gotten companies like offering me stuff I actually really want, and I've turned it down because I just don't have the energy, because they do ask a lot. Like I've had this brand and they want 2 Instagram posts, and I'm like, 2 Instagram posts is a lot for one product. Like I have to take those photos, I have to like, you know, schedule that out. I like it's so much more energy. Like it seems like, oh, you just snap a photo. What? No, like it is so much. And I'm like literally like, I want this product. This, you know, in some cases like this is a 200-pound product. Like this is worth a lot of money. I want this. But sometimes I'm like, it's not worth the energy. I'm just not going to do it. You know?
Like you think about the energy of your communities. Like you're like forcing this down their throats, and like, hey, like they're like, we want you to do like 2 posts, like 3-story post at like 30 seconds in a video. And it's like, at this point, my community is going to resent you because they're going to know, because they know that I don't do this very often. And if you're asking this much of me and I do this, they're not going to buy your product out of spite. Because nobody follows anybody to have products shoved down their throat with 3 posts, 4 posts, 5 posts, even 2. Even 1, really. Like nobody watches our YouTube videos for the advertisements that we might put inside of them. Honestly, like I feel like people watch them because they want us to get the revenue. They want us to be able to support ourselves because they're loyal and they care about us. But like most, like genuinely, they're not watching for that content. They don't want the ads. They watch YouTube videos because they don't have commercials. Like, I don't know. And it aggravates me how people in marketing don't understand this side of it. And it kills me because, especially with the fact that I've applied for like marketing jobs, they've been like, well, you don't really have any experience as far as like social media outreach. And I'm like, bitch, I am the social media.
You do all the jobs at once.
I know what people on my side want
Yeah.
and how to connect with those people. And it just kills me because like, well, we gave it to so-and-so, and then so-and-so from the company will reach out to me like 3 months later and be like, hey, you want to work with the company? I'm like, I'm good. Hard pass on that. Y'all have fun trying to figure it all out. It blows my mind.
Yeah, I hear you. I will like bounce one thing you said about like it not being profitable there. Like that's one thing that does keep me doing videos every week is that like obviously I love doing it and I'm passionate about what I'm making, but like I do make a little bit of money off of it and it's definitely not much. But when I look at it as like I've done the maths on like how much money I would be making per hour in terms of what I put into my videos. And like on some weeks I do a lot of work that I don't get reimbursed for, but like a lot of times like I am getting paid for the hours that I put into it. And, you know, mostly due to the generosity of my Patreon community. And like, it is like when I say, if you want to support me so I can keep making videos, I mean that because right now I luckily am able to allocate that time in my schedule because that time is being reimbursed. And if I didn't have that, it would be a lot harder because I would need more economic, you know, I'd have to look to put those hours elsewhere. Which I feel very lucky to be even have that situation. But for me, like that is a thing, you know, I am like, well, this is an income source. It's not my main income, but like,
I completely agree. Like if it wasn't for YouTube, I would not. So I turned to OnlyFans, and I know I've talked about this before. Like, I mean, that's what I turned to that's how I'm still paying for the apartment that I'm in. That's how I pay for my rental currently. And I'll be honest, I haven't done anything with OnlyFans since I moved here in July. I pretty much stopped in August and haven't like done anything with it at all. And it's just like I've been writing off of that. And because of YouTube, I was able to build a source of income to support myself. And I completely agree that that YouTube has driven my ability to continue to be successful. But at the same time, like it does end, and it will end for me very soon. And I'm gonna have to like focus on other things.
Sure.
And it is stressful. It's very stressful when you think about income because this is our passion, really. Like sharing what we have and sharing the thoughts that we have, the ideas that we have, the videos and the content that we want to make and create and share with people is what we want to do at the end of the day. And it's so hard to do without capital. I saw a tweet and it like I thought it was funny at the time, and now thinking back on it, it's actually really sad. It was like a therapist. They were like, I am a certified like professional therapist. And I will agree, while most people do need some type of counseling and some type of therapy, most people just need money. And like that, like sitting with me like over the last like 24 hours has been really heavy, because if you have what you need and you can provide for yourself and the people you care about, you can do so much more for other people. And it kills me. It kills me that like I don't want to say that we're begging, we're scrounging for pennies and dollars to be able to continue doing what we do. But I mean, at the end of the day, like to be able to afford the equipment, the technology, the Wi-Fi, the stuff that we do, it's almost not fair.
Well, I wouldn't say it's not fair. I think
that's why I said almost.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we all started the exact same way. I wasn't making any money, you know. Absolutely. I was just doing it because I liked doing it. So I could always do that again. I know I could always do that again. All this goes tits up. I lose all my subscribers. Have like 5 left. Could still do it exactly the same as I'm doing. So it does work as sort of a privilege that you do get to maintain some sort of audience that I do want to stress that to the people watching, that we're not bitching about about any of this.
Absolutely not. I feel so grateful.
It's just it's definitely more of just like outlining how it, like in our headspace, like how it works, and like how we like realistically have to address it in our own lives, as opposed to like an idealistic world where we just get to make content that we want to make all the time. Because
the one thing that does make me sad is that on the economic side is that like, yes, I can do stuff with really low budgets, but at the end of the day, like the stuff that I want to be doing is different from what I'm currently doing, and it does require resources that I don't have. And that is kind of hard to rationalize as a creative, because it's like, I know I would be making different stuff if I had more resources. And that's frustrating, because it's like, I would be doing better stuff. I would be doing, different stuff that I literally can't do because I don't have the resources, but that's life, and I am grateful because I'm grateful to be making any money off of it, like 100%.
What do you got, Michael?
But yeah, go.
Level right now, but planning on picking up soon. It's just hard because I know what topics I want to talk about, but I just get nervous because of the climate I live in. I am hoping to have some travel series coming in 2021 if things work out, such as Washington, D.C., among other trips.
Yes.
Love that'd be fun. Washington, D.C. is gorgeous.
I love it so much. Lauren's here. Hi, Lauren.
LJ.
Sweet. Cassie says not everyone can afford to support all their favorite YouTubers on Patreon. Absolutely. And like, it's me kind of lamenting about not being able to create what I want. It's not me being resentful at viewers for not paying me money. Nobody owes.
No. I think that came across. So like similarly, Michael, he wants to do this travel thing, and he's done travel videos in the past, and I think those work really well for him. And so a travel series would work really well for him. But like, you think of it like what you just said, you want to be able to elevate your content and do something that you're not currently doing. Well, capital, money rules the world. You have to have stuff.
Rules it all. Right. I think. And especially like to reference like me and Zach like speaking earlier this year, and like a lot of the gear that I got, I haven't got to show off hardly any of the stuff that I got because I got into it, and then not to say my flame died, but my my personal life kind of became a priority over my public life per se and my YouTube life. And so like I found the capital that I needed to be able to fuel my channel, and then I kind of like backed off from it. But it does take to elevate your content, to elevate to the levels that people want you to continue to grow to as your subscriber base grows. As your number gets bigger, people expect more from you. I feel like Zach can attest to that.
Oh, 100%. If I was still making the same things that I made back then, I would have retained an audience, some sort of audience, some semblance of an audience, but I would not have ever grown. I would not have ever reached new people, because you think of TikTok right now, it's overtaking YouTube. TikTok, so we've all been knowing that something is going to come along that's going to wipe YouTube out one day. And I don't think it's going to completely wipe YouTube out.
It's not going to wipe YouTube out because YouTube's full of TikTok.
It's still like $1 billion company, right? So,
yeah.
But TikTok is a huge thing right now, and if it does have staying power, it's going to one up YouTube for sure. So I've even thought about like going through and editing the videos I already have into little 1-minute shorts and putting it on there, just to like kind of
transition.
You want an audience, like I think it's unrealistic to say that anybody puts their stuff out there not to be seen. You want your stuff to be seen. You do want to cultivate some sort of audience, and with that, you have to kind of change with the times. If you're going to remain doing the same things that you did when you started out, you're not going to get anywhere.
Have you heard of YouTube Shorts?
No.
Okay.
What is this?
See, this is ready for this, Zach. So
YouTube over here. I've not heard of YouTube Shorts.
YouTube is trying to get in on the TikTok market, and that's what YouTube Shorts is. But this is, you can launch them now, but it's really weird. The way that you make shorts is literally you do like a 16:9 like TikTok orientation video, and you just put it in like the hashtags, and they upload it as like a short. But a lot of creators on YouTube are now taking content they've already made and putting like bits of it into shorts, and some of it does way better because
so then let's talk about that for a second. So like, I have been floating this idea around of just condensing mine and putting it on TikTok and stuff like that, while still doing YouTube, of course. Does that feel a little cheap to everybody? Because kind of in the back of my head, it sits a little cheap for me, because it's like you're just recycling your own stuff. It's like if I reposted a couple of my own videos and just deleted them from back then. What do y'all think? Does that feel cheap?
I think because you have to modify it for a new platform, you are putting work into it. I also think, like, you know, you work so hard on your content, like, sure, get mileage out of it, you know, put it on TV, like, you know, like, you've done it, you made it. Like, it's to me, I just don't have any qualms about that at all. Like, I would have an issue. I had a company want to relicense my videos for YouTube recently, and that was really weird because I was like, you're literally just asking to re-upload my videos and share the profits on a platform where the videos already are. Like, that's cheap and like sketchy. But like putting it on a new platform, yeah, that's, you know, that's entrepreneurial. And I don't know, like, I also have thought about doing this a lot, so I'm not the right person to ask, probably. Yeah, go, Michael, go for it.
I know someone who is on the Marine One Squadron, and he said he wants me to come up and visit him. It's just frustrating at the end of the day because I don't have the resources and support to build up my followers to the point of where it would work financially for me.
Yeah. And really, like, with something like that, like building up a base, it's just
frustrating.
You can get one lightning strike and do it, right? You just need that one little lightning strike that can do it, and then you got to build off. It's up to you to build off that momentum. But not everybody gets that lightning strike, you know.
No, and it's so hard. It took me like 3 years to find my lightning strike. It took a video.
I used to promote Taylor like fuck. I used to push your channel. Like, I remember putting your channel in like all of my descriptions and all my videos and all that.
Zachary Garcia advertised me too much, but it took until I made a video that I was so uncomfortable. I mean, at the time, like, I needed it, and to this day, I'm uncomfortable with it being online. I took it down for a while and put it back up simply because, not to say that I needed it to build my following, but just it resonated with so many people. I felt it was unfair of me to take it away.
Sure.
Because to this day, I still get comments about how relevant it is to people finding it, especially in the last like 1,000 people to comment, or the last like 100 or so people to comment have been females. Like, it's been women finding this video and like relating to it. And to me, it's crazy that women are relating to my experience. But it took me 2.5, 3 years to find my lightning strike. And that's still the video that grows my channel to this day. It's not any of the other content. Recently, it's been like some underwear haul videos, but they still wouldn't have gained traction without that one. Go ahead, Michael. What you got, man?
Go for it.
It just depends on people's interests and niches.
Yeah.
That's true.
That has a lot to do with it. But I haven't gotten a lightning strike yet. I would describe my exposure moments as more like static shocks than lightning strikes. I'm grateful for that, you know, because it has propelled me forward. But like, I've never had like a lightning moment at all. Like, I've had little kind of bits of exposure.
You've got how many subscribers you have? You have 6,000, 5,000?
I have 7. I've actually grown a lot recently. I have 7,700 now.
Oh yeah.
I say this to Taylor all the fucking time. Put those people in a room. That is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is. Hey, I'm not. This isn't me complaining. I'm not like boo hoo me. I didn't get a lightning strike.
I don't think you're complaining. I just think
I always try to like thinking in comparison to Mark Miller. Not to say that we need to compare ourselves to other YouTubers, but like, he was the it guy for so long. He's the reason that so many of us joined YouTube. How many subscribers does Mark Miller have at this point? He's only at 669,000, and you have to think this guy's been doing it for years longer than we have. So like, so many people put themselves on this track and they think, well, I want 100,000. Well, I want 200,000. Well, I want 1 million. And it's like, even the biggest of the big dogs in this space don't hit 1 million anymore. Like, that is a golden era kind of thing that has passed.
Well, I will play the devil's advocate, because I have seen some creators reach the 1 million mark and just be really successful recently. But it does depend a lot on what content they're making, what niche they are. Like, definitely, I think the golden age of like lifestyle vloggers has kind of gone and sailed.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Was that? Hey, I'm calling myself out here too. It's okay.
No, and what I mean though is
shooting
like,
myself with
you
the same
don't
gun.
you don't see it as much. Used to, it was like people hitting the million. It was a big benchmark, but like a lot of people were hitting that point. And now you don't, like popular channels even you see hit several 100,000, but they don't break that threshold simply because it's YouTube is dying out, sadly.
At the same time, I have like friends who have gotten like up to 600,000 and who have been online as much as I have, and I've been online for like 6 years now. And I'm like, well, shit, like, and then at the same time, my perspective again is that like, well, cool, I have 7,700 subscribers, like, and I'm making money off of it, and I'm enjoying it, and like, who cares, you know? And that is something I do tell people of all levels on YouTube, is that like, you know, you can enjoy it, you can make money off of it, you don't have to be insanely successful. Would I like to have a larger audience? Sure, absolutely.
Sure.
But like,
I mean, you're not doing this not to have an audience. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You don't have a voice to not be heard. Everybody wants to be. Everybody on this, Zach talks about this a little bit. We're all a little egotistical if you have a YouTube channel because you want your voice.
Speak for yourself. I don't know what you're talking about.
Everybody that's on here,
I have to go. There's the connect. It's breaking up.
all want to be heard more than the other guy, and that's why we're here. But at the same time, like, that's why we're here, and that's why people come here, is to see other people that want to be heard and that want to hear other people speak. And I think that's like, I hate YouTube in a lot of ways. I hate YouTube, but I appreciate the forum that it's given us and the ability to build our communities that it's given us, because like, I don't know, I absolutely adore my community. My brother has been like growing a Twitch channel recently, not to credit his success with my success, but a lot of my followers have kind of drifted over to him because I haven't been making content. Now he's making Twitch content, he's gaming, and we do have very much similar personalities, and they've kind of taken him in and they've kind of been growing his Twitch channel a lot. And I do appreciate that, because like, I spent 4 or 5 years building this community and I've been absent for a while. And so they found a way to kind of fill that void, and they have been supporting people that I've supported in the past. And I support my brother's Twitch channel. And so like, I appreciate YouTube for the ability that it's like, you know, my community like has been there. I've quit for years. I've quit for months. I've quit for extended periods of time. And these people, like, they've grown to like, not so much expect it from me, but just allow me to live my life. And then when I come out, they're like, we still love you, we still care about you. And that's what I love about YouTube and its ability to grow the communities that we have, because I may not be 100,000 channel, I may not be 1 million channel, but I know I have 42,000 people that care about me and that message me regularly, that check on me, that check on my stream, that like, I mean, like, I have friends that I built from the channel that have let me do things that I never would have thought I'd been able to do, and like build relationships. I think Rule, his name is Cody, but I always call him Rule. Zach knows who I'm talking about. Like, he's like all over all of our content all the time. And he's just an exquisite dude. Absolutely exquisite.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, keep going.
Oh, no, and it's just like, I've built a relationship with him that like with a follower, I don't think I've ever kind of built that kind of relationship. And I do have like personal relationships with like him, with like Paul, with Ronnie, like those kinds of people. Like, I very much appreciate, like, when I see their names, I get excited and I get happy because I have personal rapport with those people. And YouTube has allowed me to expand beyond. And I mean, even you guys, for instance, like, I never would have gotten a chance to speak to any of you had it not been for YouTube. And it's just, I appreciate in a lot of ways, besides the fact that the algorithms are discriminatory and they hate us and it's dying. But you know, YouTube's great.
I think just like hitting the nail on the head there. It is about community. I think I still watch YouTube. I'd be stupid if I said, oh, I don't watch YouTube anymore. I go through my little lulls where I don't, but for the most part, I will check out each of y'all's videos when they come out, just to make sure I give that little bit of support. But it's these communities that we do build, and I wouldn't necessarily watch you guys or watch any of the YouTubers I do watch if if I see that they are just looking at a subscriber count, that does I can always tell when somebody's looking at a subscriber count, and that's all it is. When there's a community, when there's sense of community, it's a lot of people. Like I said, put them all in a room. It's too many people to like have genuine friendships with everybody. But when I make a video and I put it down, I see all the comments and I know exactly who these people are. I don't know maybe anything about them. I know them and I know their names. I know, kind of what's going on. If they interact with me on Twitter, I know them a lot more, and that's what, you're not going to like, because you can't really say it's like, they're genuine friends with you and stuff like that. But in a way, like you build these sort of online friendships and these people are going to call you out when these people think you're being a dickhead. They're going to tell you and it's you're always going to have a narrowed view of life if you're not surrounded by community and community of people who care about you. And these people do care about us, and I care about them just as equally. It is great. Yeah. It is great that these people are following each of us. Like we have the same community. All of us have the same sort of community, and it is because it's not just like, well, these are my subscribers. These are my subscribers. This is the circle I'm in. I think that's the perfect way to put it. This is the circle I'm in. Yeah. Does that make sense? Ramble, but does it make sense?
Yeah. Also, like, I will say, I do feel like I have genuine friendships with some of my viewers. Like, I know exactly what you're saying. I agree with everything you said. But like, there's some viewers that I like will talk to about stuff, that have been around for such a long time, that I feel like there's some viewers where I'm like, if you're in London, please let me know. I would love to go for a coffee with you, and we wouldn't have that relationship if it wasn't through YouTube at all. So like with YouTube, we talk a lot about parasocial relationships, but like, I think there is, YouTubers that do only have parasocial relationships, but like, I love the fact that a lot of my relationships do go beyond that with people that watch my content. And it's like you say, you can't have that with absolutely everybody, but it's also one of the joys of having a smaller audience as well. Like, and one of the things I love about being able to manage my comments more, like I read every single comment that is put on my channel because I can, and that is great.
That's absolutely so. Like, I remember for a long time, like I was intentionally like, I was sabotaging my channel. I would do something to make people unfollow me because I didn't want to grow. And I stunted my growth for a very long time. And even at like 42K, like I'm still like, I feel bigger than I want to be, simply because at this point, like I know too many people, and not just like, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm not saying that I'm bigger for my own britches. But for instance, like I'll go out to a bar in like Nashville, and like I've overheard people talking about like, yeah, that's that guy. He has an OnlyFans. He has a YouTube channel. Like he's this, that, the other. And like talking about me like they know me very personally. And it's like, it just kind of sucks. And I do miss being at that like 10,000 kind of subscriber range when like people like I had a community that knew who I was. But if I went out to a random gay bar, people didn't know who I was. But being in the South and being in Nashville, like people do know who I am. I'm not saying like I'm some mega superstar. It's not like if Zach were to go out in Nashville, everybody in their fucking mother would know who he was. But like, it's different. And as you grow, it becomes different. I remember the days when I wished that people, Michael disappeared. Michael, back. Come back.
He's in the dark with a wand. Just
Literally. He's spinning.
Joshua asks us, why are so many creators moving to Patreon or OnlyFans? I see a long break in interaction and then like crazy posting. So I think Taylor should take the OnlyFans part of the question, but I don't know that creators are moving to Patreon. A lot of creators have always had Patreons in addition to what they're doing. I know some creators are like, do post exclusive content on Patreon, and it's just because YouTube's made it really hard to like survive economically. I think that's the main reason with Patreon. OnlyFans is a bit different, but similar probably. If you want to.
So I will say the AdSense portion of it, in my experience.
Oh no,
Michael's gone. Michael.
Oh, his laptop died. He's going to be right back.
Well, then what the fuck happens to us? How
are we still live?
I guess we're still live.
Are we going to disappear at some point?
We're still live on the YouTube channel.
This is so weird. This is like an Inception moment where like they unplug the machine and we're still going. Like, oh my gosh.
As far as like YouTube AdSense, like I will say, I feel like rates have gone down. I feel like monetary value of YouTube AdSense has gone down. I don't know if that's other people's experience, but that's been my experience. Even with me like quitting and not posting as much, I notice my videos don't pull as much as they used to. And so as far as like moving to page, I've done Patreon before. I've done OnlyFans before. I still currently do OnlyFans. But as far as doing Patreon, the reason we moved to Patreon is we feel the need to give back. And we do feel the need to try and support ourselves. And in order to support ourselves, we need to put out more for a monetary value. And YouTube doesn't really give you that platform to put out for a monetary value. So we moved to a third-party platform.
Unless you have memberships.
Right. And I don't like the idea of doing memberships or doing like private videos on YouTube. Like, I don't like the idea of dealing with YouTube as far as money goes, because I feel like they cheat our subscribers out of more money than it's worth. And Patreon, if anything, Patreon cheats the creators out of their money. They take a huge chunk right out of it, just like OnlyFans does. OnlyFans takes a huge chunk from creators as well. But we feel the need to, like, we have people in our community who want to give money to us, and we want to give back to them. We don't want to just take money. Like, that's just wrong in a multitude of fashions. Like, for us to just take free money and just continue to support our channels without giving anything back. And so that's why we turn to Patreon, is that way we can give you a handwritten letter, or exclusive content, or exclusive videos, or blog posts, or whatever it may be that people are posting on Patreon. The reason that I moved away from Patreon is that it became too much output for me to keep up with personally. As for the rewards, because I was doing like handwritten letters, handwritten individual poems based on like phrases and words people were giving me. I mean, I was putting out like 20 to 30 letters a month, and it was a lot, because I wasn't just writing like 2 sentences. I was writing people like a full description of like what was going on in my life and what was going on in their life, and I was doing a whole correspondence with these people of like how things were going. It was just a lot for me to keep up with. So I moved to OnlyFans simply because I knew a lot of people want to see what I look like. I knew what a lot of people want to see what I look like without my clothes on, want to see like more of my like underwear video content kind of based things. And so I was like, that's what I'm going to put on OnlyFans, because I've done a few things on Twitter and they've been really successful on Twitter. So why not do it on OnlyFans? And so I was open about like what I was doing on OnlyFans. People kind of followed that. And it was a way for me to support myself and feel like I was giving back to the people that were following me, as far as like giving me monetary value, because I hated when people would just like PayPal me like, X amount of money, because I was like, I didn't do anything to deserve this. You're just giving me money. And it made me feel wrong. It made me feel like messed up inside, just because like I appreciate it. I do, but like I didn't do anything to deserve this other than exist and post content that I was going to post regardless of the monetary value, like you sending me $20 for drinks or whatever that I was doing that night. Like I posted this video because I wanted people to express interest and feel relatable to what I was posting. Like I wanted people to feel like they had somebody out there that understood what they were going through, as opposed to like, I want to put this out there and I want you to send money because I put this out there and you understood it. So now you owe me, you know what I mean? And like, I don't enjoy that kind of sense of reciprocation. Like no one owes me anything. I put what I put out there because I wanted to, and I want you to, benefit from it without benefiting me. I did it because I did it, I didn't do it with some expectation of people paying me for it. And so I feel like that's where a lot of people feel like we moved to Patreon because we need to support ourselves, but we want to pay people back, because what some people don't understand is that like people are paying us, or like finding our Patreons or finding our PayPals, finding our Venmos, regardless, without us posting them, to try and like give us money and support us without us giving anything back. And so we moved to those platforms to try to give back to our communities, because they're trying to find a way to give back to us. I told you I'd filibuster till he got back.
We're safe. Okay, I do have a question. Okay, so I don't know. I like briefly saw the comment earlier. I know you saw it. So what does everybody think about the people who say, "Well, get a job"?
Say what?
Like a normal job. That's what I think how it was put. What do we think about people?
I glossed right over that comment. I was like, "Oh man, we're going there." All right.
About the normal job.
I feel like there's comments like that all the time. Like I see stuff like that constantly.
I feel like
it's good to talk about.
The pandemic has shown us that a quote unquote normal job is irrelevant. It doesn't exist, because I feel like people who have survived the pandemic have moved their quote unquote normal job to an online space where they only use online platforms, where they work from home, where they work from a laptop, which is exactly what we do regardless. And so a quote unquote normal job is no longer normal. Everything is shown that we can do all this specifically. Like I said earlier, like platforms like this and like Zoom have shown that you can take a TV broadcast, you can take an internet meeting, you can take anything that you would do in person, you can do it from home on a laptop with a computer with a fucking webcam and make it 100% normal. And so quote unquote normal, the pandemic, I'm appreciative of it in a lot of ways, in the fact that it has shown the world what online space can do and what online creators and social media experts and marketing experts are capable of, because we've been able to grow beyond the space of normal and show you that you can work from home. You can work through, not to say, what's the word? I'm a little buzzed here. What's the word for immunocompromised, for instance? Like even if you were like have a job and you were to be, not to like use like the worst case scenario, but like if you were to find out that you had cancer, you could still do your job from home very explicitly, very expertly, and not take a single moment's notice that you were not there. And it's showing that you can work in conditions that are beneficial to you and not beneficial to the company. And that's just been an absolute benefit of this pandemic, is showing that the online space has allowed us to evolve beyond needing to go into an office, to be surrounded by others, to be surrounded by conditions that are not beneficial to us, and just overall just beneficial to the employee rather than the employer. And I know I've kind of diverted from the topic of the question of normal jobs, but it's shown that any normal job can be done the way that we do our job. And so our job can be qualified as a normal job.
I completely agree. Do you want to go?
Go ahead and I'll take it after you.
I used to work at the Discovery Channel, and I asked them very early on if I could work from home. And they were like, no, absolutely. It's impossible to work from home. Pandemic happens. What is everyone doing? They're working from home. So it's clearly, I'm like, oh, wow. Like,
that's the tea.
Funny to see that. Like, oh, man, I was so mad when I saw that happen. But it's like, that's the reality is most people can work from home in a lot of professional environments. And what is a normal job? Like with the original question, what is a normal job? There's no such thing as a normal job. Who defines that? Like, in my opinion, every form of how you get your income is completely and utterly valid. And if you make your money, cropping fields in a garden, if you make your money in sex work, like, more power to you. However you make your dollar, make your dollar. I support it. Like, with the exception of maybe like high crime assassin rings, but even then, maybe
don't judge, Bradley.
Oh man, they're gonna cancel me. It's begun. I'm getting Twitter canceled.
Yeah. Well, okay, so and I guess when people do refer to normal jobs, they refer to the traditional job, right? The traditional job where you're going to go, you're going to work a set amount of hours, and you're going to get
9 to 5.
Yeah. You're going to get your paycheck just like that. Which is, I mean, it can and cannot be, a stable way of life. Like we've seen both ways sort of play out. But I think a big topic to bring up here is opportunity. Wouldn't everybody in the position that some of us might find ourselves in take the opportunities we have been given? I think everybody would. I think those opportunities, if they came to that person's way, they would take those opportunities. They wouldn't just let them pass you by. And what is wrong with taking opportunities that kind of build you up to a job that you might like, instead of a job that just like is miserable to you every day? like it's so unrealistic, right? To say, well, follow your dreams. You quit your job and go and find a job that you want to be doing. But for some people, that's viable. You're able to do that, and if you are able to do that, I don't think it's fair to put people down who are able to do that.
There's almost this resentment that like this expectation that you have to be unhappy in your work. It's like, what do you mean you get to be happy doing your employment? And like, I do tell people all the time, I'm like, quit your job, pursue the arts. You know what I mean? Like, not really, but like,
it's not maybe, viable for everybody. And I
not for everybody, but it is possible for a lot of people around the world. It is possible to have a career that you like. It is possible. Like, I'm sorry, I think some people don't want to confront that reality. Some people are like, it's harder to pursue that, or you don't want to believe that you could actually be happier. But the reality is, it's totally possible to be happy in your profession. And
that has been a major speaking point in my life recently. Has been it's been for people, they don't understand where I say, like, I don't want a job where I'm not happy. I don't want a job where I'm entering at like $20,000 a year. Like, I don't want that. I don't want to live like that. Like, why do that when I can make so much more money doing, for instance, like OnlyFans? Like, I can make literally 10 times the amount by doing so much little work. Like, why would I equate like X and Y when they're definitely not equal? And it blows my mind that so many people are willing to accept jobs where they're not happy, where they're not doing what they want to do, where they're doing this for X amount of dollars simply because it's what you're supposed to do. And it is, if you're not happy, then why do it? Like, I understand needing to make ends meet, needing to do what you've got to do in order to survive. But like, I don't see the point in living if you're not going to be happy, if you're not going to do what makes you happy, if you're not going to do what you want to do. I don't want to do it. And that's just always been my mindset. And people don't understand that. And people don't want to accept that because people think you have to do things you don't want to do in order to live. And I don't think that's the way that it should be. And I don't think that's the way to live. Michael, I'm calling on you because you're raising your hand. Hit it.
It shows that we can get more done when things are done online because we don't waste time doing ridiculous stuff. Personally, I wish the government didn't hinder me financially because of its narrow-minded view of a job.
Yeah, 100%. Like, the reality is, like, a lot of people work better from home. Like, there's a lot of evidence to say that productivity improves because we're happier, we're managing our lives better. Like, there's so much evidence to say that. Like, there's a lot of evidence that like people in 6-hour working days are much happier and much more productive. So the question I have for the whole damn world is, why not do that? Literally all the stats are in favor of that. Like, it just makes no sense to me. Like, we have so much evidence that other systems work and we're just stuck in the status quo. And it drives me nuts.
Capitalism, that's the answer.
What?
Capitalism is the answer.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Don't get me started on capitalism.
We will. I'll come for
this. Oh, man.
The government. Let's not talk about government and politics. I feel like it's best to ignore that, right? Not say ignore it, but not to publicly crucify ourselves by talking about it. Because I feel like regardless of which stance we take, the internet is going to tear us apart, whichever side you try to take on it. Because
let's just say I'm happy that I'm coming back in April of next year instead of this month.
In April? I thought you were there for another 2 years.
No, I am. I just mean just to go home and
on holiday. You're coming back for April Fool's Day. What a wonderful time to come home,
right?
You're gonna be in the States in April.
I am. Yeah.
Okay, so let's plan a thing. We need to plan a thing.
I would love that.
Zach, we've been talking about planning a thing forever.
Please, I'll fly to wherever you. I don't know where you guys live, but I'll go there.
You don't want to come here? I'll come to you.
Great, come to California.
Absolutely.
California is great
for sure. Okay, I'm kind of drunk right now, but But
I'm getting sign on the line.
I'm signing on the line. I'll sign with my finger right now.
Great. This is recorded.
Next year, it's finally going. We're all going to be in one location. For the first time ever. Do nod your head. Shut up.
Don't roll your eyes.
You're coming
too.
I don't trust the world anymore. I had a plan. I had a plan like this for this year, and I couldn't do it. So I don't trust any of this stuff anymore.
Who is that?
We were supposed to celebrate LJ's 21st birthday. We had a big Twitter
conversation. LJ's invited. That's like a given. She's part of this community. We're going on vacation, Bradley. When you get here, you need to let us know the details.
Oh, I will.
Yeah. And we're going on vacation together.
Yeah, that would be so great.
Michael was supposed to come over here to visit also this year. I think we started talking about it. We hadn't come up with anything solid, but I mean, the year really did wipe out like every.
It ruined everything.
I was so. You want to let me go on my fucking rants, okay?
Yeah.
I had so much shit planned this year. It was going to be such a good year. I was supposed to go work South by Southwest. I was super excited about that. I was wanting to get this like true crime thing off the ground and try to make it to CrimeCon, and everything's just gone.
I forgot about your true crime thing. Are you still doing it?
Yes.
I like the reluctant yes.
Well, because yes, it's just I don't want to put out any sort of time thing because
absolutely.
God, I mean, like me and my mom wanted to do it, and then we had a whole family blow up, and then coronavirus happened.
Absolutely,
it was crazy. So it's gonna happen. It's just gonna happen when I get to it.
I'm stating it now. We are all getting together when Bradley comes to the United States.
Well, you plan
I don't
it out.
care what you're doing, Zachary. I will come and get you.
I will also come. We will drag you limb by limb.
We are going to get together, and we are all going to go on vacation together, wherever it may be. Yes. And it will be nothing but camera central, and we will all be on all the time. We'll have a great time.
He was gonna direct the whole thing. He's like, all right, you're on at 5. Zach, go to your mark. 2 o'clock. We need cameras at 5.
But I do think all of us creators getting together and interacting personally, I think it'll be great for all of us, and it'll be very refreshing.
Okay, so there's a channel that I used to watch called Gay Family Values, and it was like 2 dads and they had kids. They used to take YouTube trips with, like, they used to get a bunch of gay YouTubers, and they would like rent a house, and they would all just vlog while they were there and hang out. And I always thought that would be like such a cool idea.
I still think that a joint channel is the way to go.
I cannot do it. I couldn't. You know what? Though? Actually, I could do it. I think I could.
I think Zach, you could direct the joint channel.
That's what I would want to do. So, has anybody?
I think you'd be perfect at directing the joint
Showing
channel.
my lack of intelligence here. Y'all are familiar with Teen Mom. Yes, you are. Oh, come on. Everybody's familiar with Teen Mom.
I grew up without a TV. Is this a TV show?
It is.
Anyway, I literally grew up Amish. Like,
during the golden age of YouTube, group channels were the way to go. Everybody had their individual channel, but then they had the group vlogging channel.
Yeah,
that was the thing.
And that show is kind of the format I've always wanted to kind of pursue. It takes like these 4 girls, and then in the span of like a 40-minute episode, you see like segments of each of their lives, and it's like 10 episodes. And I always thought that would be so cool to do with like just a couple of gay YouTubers.
100%. Yeah.
We've
talked about doing this before. I think I even have it in my notes somewhere. Like,
absolutely, we have been on so many live streams together and talked about doing a group YouTube channel for so long. I feel like we've always been drunk when we talked about it.
Okay, you've always been drunk when we've talked.
Okay, just because. I think that not specifically to grow our audiences, because I feel like we have our own communities, and I feel like we are all doing just fine in our own regards, even including myself and not being on YouTube for a while.
It's entertainment for the audience we have.
Exactly. I think that we've all talked about like doing like a group YouTube channel. I think that's something 2021 should see. just because like I feel like it's something where we don't always upload every single week. I feel like it's a refreshing rotation of our content to be able to get people involved in everything that we do as a group, because we've been a group for what, 4 years now? I mean, it's 2020, and like I genuinely like we've been doing so much together for so long. We've been stuck together for so long, not stuck as
forced to live stream together.
We've been
against my will. Can I leave?
Found each other. There's a better phrasing.
Yeah.
Through so much shit.
Yeah.
That like I genuinely think like not that YouTube's gonna revive or not that gay YouTube's gonna revive, but no one is necessarily doing this thing and no one is forming any group channels. Everyone in gay YouTube is out for themselves at this point in time, in my opinion. But I think that our group has been together for so long that we might as well do it, you know, and Zach can direct it. Zach can be the supervisor. He doesn't have to be on it because we know Zach makes a video a month.
I have to be more regular this year. I've signed a lot of contracts.
Oh man,
I've kind of shot myself in the foot here.
Damn.
And
I'm down. I'm super down.
Absolutely. So. I think it'd be good for us, our friend group, our little group. We can go on our little vacation together. It'll be great.
I'm so down.
I absolutely like. I've wanted to try. I've started. You guys know it. I've started a group channel before. I started the College Adventurers before with a bunch of non-YouTubers. It was me and 3 other like non-YouTubers, and it absolutely sank. Like we had a following. Everything did okay. A girl who was a non-YouTuber actually has the most viewed video of the whole channel of her killing a bug. It's
amazing.
It was the lightning strike. It was a lightning strike of the channel, and the channel died shortly after. But it really is just dedication, and like I genuinely think that our friendship together of us like being dedicated to each other and our YouTube friendship, that it will be successful besides our normal personal channels. Just because
who cares if it's successful? Like it's
I think that's the thing about starting from ground level up is that it doesn't really matter at that point.
Yeah.
As far as like successful, I mean like us like posting and doing what we want to do because we like care about each other's content and we care about promoting each other as opposed to like hitting 100K, hitting 10K, hitting 20K. Like we're not worried about a subscriber base because we have our own communities and a lot of our communities overlap with each other. Yeah, we're just more so concerned with just like posting content that we believe in and promoting.
Well, then let's sort of do a quick little powwow about this.
Powwow it.
It would be cool to start out with like a group trip. You see everybody, kind of all the players who are going to be in this thing, and then we all split off, and every episode is different from there.
The continual story.
Yeah, everybody's individual stories. But if we did do it, it needs to be. I think we are definitely in a place in the world where we need to be a little bit more diverse. Our groups are not incredibly diverse.
That's a fact.
I've made a note of that this year. Our groups are not incredibly diverse. So we would need to reach out to the audience and have them sort of suggest who would be on it. What kind of things would we do? Because yes, we could have a core group of us who've been around for forever, but it would also be really nice to extend it to
some up and comers.
I think that would be great.
Absolutely. Yes. I'd love to see a group channel of like 6 to 8 people. I think that's
Let's just do Jersey Shore. How about that? Oh, if my teenage self would have loved to have been on Jersey Shore, we could do it now. I can get trashy drunk. I can fall all over the place.
I think
I don't know anything about Jersey Shore, but I'm down to get trashy drunk. I'm down to get trashy drunk.
You have Geordie Shore over there, though.
I don't watch TV, and I literally haven't my whole life. I've watched like 3 films.
It's okay. It's just
I've heard of it.
No, but something would be fun. You know?
No, but just
I'm so down.
There's 4 of us here right now. If we were to add like 4 other people, it would be. I feel like that's like at the maximum number of people that you need on a channel. And I feel like that's just like the perfect number to like get some up and comers going, to get some diversity going. Because I know like we're all pretty white here, and I would like to see some diversity in it. And whether it's like I don't really know. We just reach out and we find some new people. Whether we find some people that have been on for a while or like that have been up and coming. Because I know like Leo's not really, he's not really on anymore. I feel like he's just kind of focused on his own personal life and his married life, which is totally fine.
But that's someone that I would love to see on there because we are
Absolutely.
friends. We are friends with Leo. And Leo doesn't feel like, Leo to me doesn't feel like, when I have him on a stream and stuff like that, it doesn't feel like tokenism. Like we have to be very careful about participating in tokenism because we don't want to do that. But like Leo's like a genuine friend of us. He came up with us and he would be a perfect fit. I bet you his ass would do it.
Oh, absolutely, because he was on way before us. Yeah. You have to remember this man's like 30.
I consider it around our time though. I like to
he came back on around when we were, so he was on super early, made a bunch of really high key friends and stopped making videos because he was in the in crowd. And then he came back on, he was on with us, and then he stopped to focus on his married life. But he's expressed to me multiple times how he wanted to come back. So I feel like he would definitely come back for like a group channel and be like on it, like not necessarily about like his own personal channel, but if you go back and watch his old videos, his characters, he is one of those character YouTubers that is from the ancient age of YouTube that you don't see anymore. That is,
oh gosh.
Well, you talk about like, I'm talking about like there's like our age, there's the golden age, and there's the ancient age. And he's from the ancient age, not to say it's like super old, but it's content styles that you don't see anymore, where people portray, like my quarantine video, where like I portrayed like several different characters. You don't see that anymore. That's not like a popular style of video anymore. And I absolutely appreciate that. And he is so good, and he's so funny. Just like I think like layering our content as far as like diversification, not just with like racial issues or like whatever it may be, but as far as like age on YouTube, because we're all fairly new. I mean, 4 or 5 years is still babies on YouTube compared to the people who've been here for 10, 15 years. Since the very
I need to keep telling myself that.
And that's the hard thing, is that like we're still babies. We're still babies. And it's just, I think that overall doing like a group trip together, doing a group channel together, I think 2021 is the opportune time to do it, because YouTube is dying. And as far as like gay YouTube is really dying. They're moving to TikTok, where they see shirtless men, whether they be straight or gay. A lot of straight men are marketing themselves as gay men to get views and get subscribers and get followers. It's a fact. Like Instagram and TikTok, tons of straight men are marketing themselves as homosexuals. I love Blake. I love Blake to death. He's not marketing himself as a gay man, but he has a ton of gay followers because he's a very pretty dude to look at. Very fun Canadian man to look at. And it's simply because gay men are switching over to follow straight people that are very attractive and very hot, because the gay channels have died down. It's a bunch of gays fighting for each other for attention, as opposed to a bunch of gays coming together. And I think a group gay channel would be very refreshing on the YouTube side.
Where have you seen people fighting for attention though? Because I want to see this, because I haven't seen any of that. I mean, I follow the same YouTubers that I've been following forever anyway, though. So
as far as like YouTube goes, like YouTube views, like I don't know, even in my video views have gone down substantially as to what I would expect them to be right now, even without me posting content, simply because there's so many people flushing the market. There's so many young gays coming out now, especially with the pandemic happening, and so many people moving to an online space for a source of income and a source of like publicity and a source of notification, a source of approval. You know what I mean? There's so many people trying to start out, and YouTube has created that barrier, preventing you from capitalizing off of YouTube without having, what is it, Bradley, like 1,000 subscribers, 2,000 subscribers?
You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time.
Exactly. Now. They've created barriers for those entry people, and the algorithms prey on those people. They prevent them from getting those views, but there's so many people trying to flush the market. But at this point, like so many people are just diluting other views, because if you have the hashtag, if you have the tag in your video of gay, LGBTQ, there's millions of videos out there. And a lot of times it'll refer you to a video that's 4 or 5 years old. That's what you'll find at the top of your search history. And so I feel like we're at the cusp. There's nothing happening where we are, where there's a group of people trying to come together to work together. I feel like it's a lot of individuals just fighting for the tiny space that's available. And I mean, I'm not fighting for the space. I've been AFK, like away from everything for so long that like I feel like it's fair to say I'm not actually fighting for the space anymore.
I'm fighting. I'm fist fighting every bitch out there for subscribers.
Michael's very much fighting for the piece of the pie. The like subscribers that are there, that are actually watching, that are continuing to be a part of YouTube. And like it's just, it's so rough when it's one individual fighting another individual just for the view time. And it's YouTube has made it to the point where you have to compete in order to get what they want, in order to get the advertisements, in order to get the money that they are supposedly giving people, as opposed to a bunch of gays coming together and being like, we're banding together against the system. We're going to very much create content that we care about, and we're going to do it for a community that cares about us. Because so many people just feel like it's a competitive market, not a community market.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think the channels is it could work if that's the thing though. So we got to have
no one's
manage it.
That's the question. It's the delineation of responsibilities. That's the real question.
I don't know. I'm not going to have the time to do it.
To manage
I mean, I might be able to make stuff for it, but like I can't manage everybody and make sure everybody's doing on their day or like how.
So that's the difficult part, is making sure that like, say we have 8 people doing it, that like 8 people are like making the videos they need to make on time. Not to say that they're being forced to make content, but if like say like Bradley couldn't make a video by next week and he was supposed to, we make sure that like Zach is making a video to cover that video. And so then like
someone has to kind of organize it, and there has to be some sort of scheduling and stuff.
And so that's
have you people call me my people?
Yeah,
exactly. And so I see a group of YouTubers working together to reiterate the gay YouTube platform to be something new and something better than what it is. Because right now it's just coming out videos and dating videos and trashy videos. As someone who's participating in the trashy market, I will say like the videos that are doing well on my channel are my underwear hauls and the things like that. And I'm not saying that's what I want gay YouTube to be. I'm saying that that is what the individual creators have caused it to be. And I want to see a group rise above that and put content that matters to the community, that people like. I mean, I still have content that I would go on YouTube that I would watch where I currently like, I don't. You know what I mean? Like there's questions that I have, like I'm like, as far as like going to a gay club, or as far as like being in a relationship and like going to a bar by myself, like there's content that I know should be out there that isn't, because so many people are like, I'm out here being a hoe, I'm out here sleeping around, I'm out here doing this, that, the other. Not saying anything.
Tag me next time.
That is half of my content personally.
Yeah.
But there's like plenty of content that hasn't been reached because so many people are so focused on being a single individual breaking into the space, as opposed to being as a part of being a group that has been a part of the space.
Well then, okay, so then you've said a few times now that you've been away from the space and stuff like that. You've kind of stepped back and stuff like that. Well then, I mean, if you have the time, why don't you spearhead it and get it all rolling? We could literally get this done within a month from now.
Absolutely.
It takes no time. Come up with a list of people, start reaching out to people, ask who wants to be on it, stuff like that.
I thought of it. So I will say, like on this live stream, I know we've been going for an hour and 47 minutes. But my biggest thing, the last 3 months, the reason that I have been away is I started dating a new guy. It's pretty serious. Like he currently lives with me. We've
seen him on the stream,
right? He's been going back and forth, getting like his own drinks. We're going to a Christmas party later, and if I'm going to be drunk, he wants to be drunk. So that's kind of how that's going. But we're Ubering, don't worry.
Good.
I definitely, even if I wasn't on the group channel per se, if Zach doesn't want to manage it, I definitely would be willing to manage it. My lips are, I'm a little drunk, but this is something we've talked about multiple times, is spearheading this movement to bring the gay YouTubers together, because I feel like right now it's just so much of a competitive market. If we just banded together and forced everyone to accept everything as it is, as opposed to everyone's individual fighting for views type thing, it'd be so much better. And I'm not saying like every single gay YouTuber has to conform to one thing. I'm saying like a bunch of YouTubers come together to express general ideas and give general information to the community, so that it's a focal point for people to come to.
I will say, we keep, I don't know if this is news, but we keep throwing the word gay around. I don't actually identify as gay anymore. But also talking about diversity, that is another way in which our group has kind of become a little bit more diverse.
We've seen our group go from gay to bi to straight in every other form in between. I've had so many friends in the last couple of years that I've met over the internet change their identification, change the way that they feel about themselves, change the way that they feel about others, and it's 100% the best. And that's the dream for the LGBTQ space, is to form some kind of unity. Because I made a video after I went to Pride a year ago, which is actually where I met my boyfriend, whether he knows it or not. Was after Pride, I came home and I iterated this thought that the LGBTQ community isn't one. Everyone is out to get the other, and everyone is out for themselves. The letters care more about themselves than they do about the collective, and that the collective is hurting itself in that fact, form, and fashion. And so I genuinely believe that if we could either come together or we could break apart. Sorry, that was my boyfriend. He's probably on a call with somebody. This, that, the other. I don't know who he's on the phone with. But I do think that there's just been a lot happening between the letters of the community, and everyone wants to break it apart in that diversification of the letters, right?
Sure.
Every time we talk about the community, everyone wants to talk about the letters, and they want the L to be separate, they want the B to be separate, they want the G to be separate, they want the T to be separate. And I've thought about it over a long period of time. I used to, in that video, I even expressed how I wish that it would, you know, implode. I wish that the letters would go off separately and do their own things. I also see the benefits of the collective, and I see the benefits that they offer each other, because we are still a minority. Even individually as letters, we're more minorities than even the minority as a collective. As a collective, we're still a minority. Gays still need to fight for trans rights. Lesbians still need to fight for gay rights. Period. That the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And it's rough to make people understand that their letter is not just an individual. It's part of a collective. And that collective does matter. And that collective needs to stick together. And so as a part of, per se, this group channel, it would be nice to see that become part of a collective channel, not just a gay man channel. And I feel like that's what a lot of people only care. Like, I only want to watch videos. If I'm a gay man, I'm watching a gay man video. I feel like that's something that needs to be adapted and needs to be evolved. And I feel like that's something that as a group channel, we could slowly introduce and slowly make people understand.
Yeah, I think we have an opportunity.
Trans and gay and lesbian and all of the other things, but it's not something you can force people to understand. Ronnie said .org, and we're not watching Star Trek. Okay, this is real life. But it's just slowly introducing ideas, as opposed to people wishing that others would fully understand ideas that are being introduced to them. You have to slowly introduce and intricate and make people understand things just one video at a time, as opposed to you're being introduced to the channel, you have to understand and completely agree with this channel. This is non-negotiable. It's the same as like when you go home to a Republican family and you're a Democrat. You cannot go home and be like, well, I believe this and I believe this. You're only going to butt heads and disagree. You can only introduce concepts and ideas and hope that they slowly begin to understand where you're coming from and begin to understand what you're thinking and begin to understand the way that you think of things. And that's the same as like when I went home for Thanksgiving with my boyfriend. His family was entirely a Republican. I had to listen to their ideas. I had to present my ideas, understand that we were never going to agree with each other, but give them ideas to think about, give them ideas to mull over. And since then, his aunt has even like texted me separately and been like, well, I was thinking about so-and-so that you said at Thanksgiving dinner, and I want to talk to you more about X, Y, and Z. And since then, like, we've talked a little bit more, and so I've understood more of her opinion. She's understood more of my opinion. We've both become more moderate in our views of the situations as opposed to being so polarized. And that's really the way that with the LGBT community, it's the same as being Republican or Democrat. It's the same as being gay or trans. You just have to slowly introduce those ideas, talk about them, and begin to understand them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
As I am so absolutely intoxicated, I'm trying to make it.
You're good. You made your point, though.
Yeah, I think there is definitely an opportunity to. Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I'm definitely not in favor of separating the letters out and isolation in that sense. And I do think we have an opportunity to kind of tackle some of these things. And I mean, I lost a lot of gay male followers when I came out as bi, and you know, that's something to talk about. You know, like we could make a video about that. I don't know.
Because I think a big part of that, right, is that there's so many people who think bi is the stepping stone cop out, right? A lot of people think that, and I hear that constantly. So yeah, I mean, that would be a good perspective to have going forward. And like, I mean, you have a channel, so like, you already know how kind of the response would be, but like, it would still be good to further that and kind of gauge even more where people are.
100%. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
But yeah, like somebody's got to spearhead it, because I likely won't do that. Go for it. But you got to do it, because if you wait a couple months, I'm gonna fall off of it, not even be
right. And then we'll be another year from now. We'll be on another live stream.
We'll be like, you know what we should do? We should do a group channel.
Oh man, yeah. It's all about that catalyst, that taking that initial jump. And I'm kind of in a similar boat where I'm like, I'm so busy right now. I will make time for this, but I can't spearhead it as well. Like, so yeah. Taylor, you're up.
Well,
I'm listening. I'm just taking a piss.
And I think a good way to break it up too is like, because like I break up my channel into seasons, and that's a very clear way for me to know how many like sort of vlogs I'm wanting to put out in this period of time, and I do that. So if we like did it in terms of seasons, then we could have, you know, one set of guys or whoever, girls, whatever, one set of people for one season, then you could like alternate season. Season 2 would be a different group. Season 3, you know, back to us. You know, we could do it like that.
100%. Yeah.
That way everybody's not giving 100% of their time to it. It's just an occasional sort of thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
When
Natalia Pax asks what I say I am bisexual.
Yes.
Right. So when I hit you guys up in 2021 and I say I've started this channel, you will be a part of this channel. You'll be happy about being a part of this channel.
I am signing on for season 1 of whatever it's called.
Season 1.
Yes.
Season 1.
I'll give away non-exclusive rights to my image being represented.
Right? So, okay. I 100% am in agreement that I will spearhead this. I will manage it. I will make sure that it is everything it needs to be. But I just need you guys to be on board.
We have to have.
I have 3 creators here. I have 3. So that means that I have 3 weeks, at least into the new season, to find somebody else.
So you're not putting yourself on it?
I probably will put myself on it just in order to be a filler face. But hopefully I will build a creator base that I will not need to be on it. Because as far as being focused on the content that's being created and as far as the topics that are covered on it, I do not want to be focused on creating content and managing everybody that's on top of it. Sure. This is a new kind of genre for me, and I've been a manager of things I've never been a manager.
Listen, instead of going to YouTube, let's sign a deal with OnlyFans. How about that? We'll do
a very different kind of collaboration.
I can make a little more money.
So that's what this house is about. All right.
I can show a little cheek if I need to.
I'm just trying to make it online for everyone to see. That is my ultimate objective.
I'm down for artistic nudity. Sign me up.
Right?
I put that on my agency, willing to perform in the nude.
Okay. So
willing to go topless.
Every video is shirtless. I don't care who you are. Every video. Nudity is a requirement.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, that very public live stream note.
My ideal situation is where I would like to build a brand of this, and so I had a website built at the beginning of last year to make, to produce, and to be featuring not only blog posts of myself and other individuals that I'd contacted, but also podcast posts and video posts of other individuals. So the dream is to build this brand beyond not just a YouTube group, but to build a blog post and also podcast group of people individually posting not just their personal beliefs, but beyond, taking on guests and taking on topics that they might not be comfortable talking about themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
And so I have this whole podcast of so everybody talks about the terrible twos when you're younger, and I've talked to Zach about this, and nobody talks about the terrible 20s. Right? When you hit your 20s, you graduate college, or maybe you didn't go to college, but you have to figure out your job. You have to figure out your lifestyle. You have to figure out whether you're going to get married or not. You have to figure out your romantic situation. Your whole life from 20 to 30 is figuring the fuck out what you're doing. And so that was my whole idea for this website that I was going to release. And I ultimately decided against it, and I did my own thing. I kept bartending, and the pandemic hit. It bit me in the ass. I should have kept bartending. C'est la vie. I moved to Nashville instead, and I've loved every second of it. I met my boyfriend. I've been so happy. But
is he not leaving no more?
Say what?
Is he not leaving anymore?
What?
Is he not leaving anymore? I thought he was leaving.
Oh no, he's still leaving. That's why I'm going to be able to focus on everything in 2021, because I'll be alone.
I was going to say, there's your some content.
Yeah, he's moving to Mexico on either December 21st or right after Christmas. He hasn't decided yet. But once he moves, I will be alone, and I will be focused solely on whatever is happening in my life, because I will be alone.
I can't wait to start some diva antics. I'm going to be the biggest diva about this.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
That's when I say I will be focused on content, it will genuinely be that I am focused on content, because I will not have. My boyfriend will be gone.
Dear.
I will be gone. Bradley disappeared. Bradley, where did you?
My camera? Oh wow! My battery has lasted longer than it ever has before. This is truly weird.
I think your battery is
a Christmas miracle. Don't question.
I think my battery must be recharging right now, while it's plugged in or something. Because I've never had it last 2 hours before. It usually lasts 30 minutes. On that note, I am going to have to disappear.
Same thing. I'm an hour past. The football game has started, and I've been sitting here for an hour, so I do need to go.
Okay.
My camera died again.
We'll talk privately about this channel. Just anybody watching know that we will be doing this. It's going to happen, and these bitches will be a part of it.
Taylor, come up with a list. I want to. I may not be managing it, but I do want to be.
I'll manage it. Don't worry.
I want to know what steps you're going through. Okay, I want to be in creative talks
together.
Okay. Well, this is what you're getting from me now. I'm gonna go.
All right. Goodbye,
I
everybody.
haven't eaten dinner. It's 9:00. I'm so hungry.
Bradley, you stay in that room. You stay and you talk.
No. Naveen held against
Michael, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael, thank you for organizing this. Michael is the reason that we got together this holiday to talk. I'm burping, don't excuse me. But Michael is the reason we got together. Let's give a round of applause for Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Subscribe to Michael's channel while you're here.
Yes, do that. It's down below. Do it.
Absolutely. Subscribe to his channel. Absolutely, 100%. We will be back. If you've been here, I'm drunk. We will be back with the group channel. It's going to happen in 2021. Keep your eyes open. I'll be advertising it. Zach will be advertising it. Michael will be advertising it.
I'll think about it.
I'm holding all three of you accountable. This is the contract.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. Take care, you guys.
Goodbye, guys. Log in.